now, come present day, I said, hey dude, what do you think about building my C4 to be a clone of yours? And he said, sure. I said 5 to 10 grand. Like, that's gonna end up being 20 or something stupid. Okay. It's a funny story. Because this battery is so kaput, the jump starter won't jump it. So I have to trick the jump box, because otherwise it'll just tell me you can't jump this battery. So I gotta get it to go into jump mode and then attach it real quick. I gotta run over here before it realizes what I just did. Welcome back, folks, to the channel. So today we're finally gonna be talking about the C4, because I know a lot of people have been wondering, well, what's going on with it? And before we get to that, I did want to just have you guys take a look around here, because we're somewhere that, if you've been watching Savage Garage for a long time, this place might look familiar. We were in here for a long time. This was a car storage area, and I'm very happy to say that, well, I'm back. This place is just incredible. I mean, this was before your time, you know, on Savage Garage. But this place, there's so many good memories here. I remember setting up right here, filming a video talking about, you know, my 7-foot ticket. In fact, I took the thumbnail photo like right behind this pole, like holding it. At the time, Hunter's Maserati was parked right here. My Quattroporte was parked there. And funny little Easter egg in that video, if you look real closely, I accidentally left my rear trunk open the entire time. There's always a ton of incredible cars here, like this right here. I'm not for certain, I'm not taking the car cover off to look, like that's not my place, but I'm pretty sure this is a CLK Black Series, and there's very few of those. So our buddy did some research, and we found it.
It is a Black Series.
Wow.
And it's very sexy.
That is fucking awesome. Very nice, thank you, Jesse.
Yes.
This came in recently, this is one of my favorite things I've seen here. Take a look at this. The GNX is cool, I know. The GNX is really, really, really cool. But this, when was the last time you saw a Fox body Cobra that looked this good? I mean, you know, it's got the turbine fan wheels, they're pristine, they're perfect, the paint is beautiful. This thing, it looks like it just came off the showroom floor. I've never seen one in this good a condition, and I've been to plenty of American car shows. There's not many people that have preserved this. I don't know who owns this car, but if by chance you're watching, you have a beautiful car, sir. So then you've got a 57 Chevy here. I'm sure this is someone's love, somebody's project. For those who have been watching me a really long time, you also recognize this. This is ye old Altima. Both of these cars, oddly enough, kind of have the same fate, which is I'm not selling them, no. I'm restoring both of them. So it's just, I've had a lot of different stuff on my chopping block recently between the project with my S600, and there's a lot more to go into about that you haven't heard about yet. I'm very excited to talk about it. But the S600, the S65, the Aventador, there's a bunch of different stuff going on. So I haven't had time to essentially just take these somewhere, write a check, and then say, fix them. Because these cars, they mean so much to me. You know, this car, for those who don't know, and I've always seen in the background of my old videos, this was my uncle's car. I mean, my father bought it new in '93. And you know, he gave it to my uncle. He used it for about 10 years or so before he passed away. And then I ended up driving it back with my dad from Connecticut after I got my driver's license. Like, it needs a little bit of body work. This is just from age. and spending a lot of time in cold Connecticut winters. And on the other side, unfortunately, I do have to own up to this because this was my fault. But when I was a little bit younger, I didn't check my blind spot, and we never repaired this, but I did this. So this car needs a little bit of body work, it needs a paint correction. The pinstriping on this side needs to be redone actually. Everything else about it is very clean. The wheels could be restored and I can get those refinished to make them look brand new. But the coolest thing about this old Altima, I know people are watching like, why the f are you talking about an Altima? This video is about the Corvette. Give me one more moment, I promise. Look at this, you'll love this. You ready for this?
I'm excited.
It has a factory heads-up display, folks. Like, that works. Like, that is so cool. Put it this way, I'm spending more money to store it here annually than the car's worth. But you know, the thing is, I don't care too much because every time I see it, it makes me very happy. And I want to restore it so it looks brand new. And not only that, if I ever need a car to daily when all my German cars are broken, because that happens, this always works. Now, with all that being said, now let's get to the Corvette. As many of you know, I've had this thing for a long time. I mean, the original story was this: I bought it when I graduated high school and made videos with it. That was the dawn of Jimbo's channel. And I mentioned earlier that this car, it went to a shop, got some really crappy work done on it. As of the last video I made on this car, talking about what happened to it, nothing has changed. Now, one of the reasons nothing happened with this car was because at the time when I filmed that video, that was right before I ended up moving back up to Maryland from Florida. So let's cut to the chase. What's gonna happen with this car? So I'm gonna be sending this car to, I'd say arguably the owner of the greatest C4 Corvette that I have seen on YouTube. Other than one that's been, you know, built up to like 800 horsepower and has a completely different motor in it. And there's some really cool examples of C4s, but I'm talking original, like 350 motor, just a really nicely set up modified C4 Corvette. The very best one that I've ever seen, I've mentioned it before on the channel here, is from Josh Dubell. Not to sound like kind of corny and cheesy here and almost like fanboyish, but like I remember showing my parents videos of Josh's C4 when I was 17 saying, one day when I have some money, I'm gonna make my C4 sound like his. Like this is what it's gonna sound like. Josh's car has a very specific high-pitched scream that is arguably, to me, in some ways sounds better than an LS1. I know that's like that's a big statement right there, but his C4 sounds unbelievable. And I remember emailing him, this was a few years ago or so. I emailed him and I said, like, what did you do to your car? And he emailed me back. He sent me like what cam he had done to it. He sent me the exhaust setup, everything like that. And then, you know, a couple years go by and, you know, Savage Garage starts and very busy with what I was doing there. And now come present day, I called him up because I got his phone number and I said, hey dude, what do you think about building my C4 to be a clone of yours? And he said, sure, absolutely, I'd love that. So before that happens, right now it's in store, like I'm parking it here before it gets picked up to go down to Florida to be built. You wanna talk about a waste of time. I brought this car from Florida up to Maryland, and then now it's going back down to Florida. And not to mention, Blake, it was only about, where Josh lives is only about an hour north of where we live. So you want to talk about this car, it's going to be going down to Florida. Josh is going to start building it. You know, we're putting together a parts list right now, and once we got the parts list and I write the check, buy the parts, Josh is going to start doing all the work, and when it gets done, we're going to be going down to Florida and we're going to see this car, you know, perform the way I always wanted it to perform ever since I was 17. So it's just gonna be a magical moment. Like, I'm really, really excited. Comment below what you would like to see done as well to this car. I mean, because I don't want it to just be a clone of Josh's car. I mean, that's cool, but it would be fun to do something else with it. So if you have any ideas, something you'd like to see with the car, comment below, let me know what you think. I can tell you off the top of my head the things that are gonna be done with this car. And, you know, I'll pop the engine bay, so I can reference these things and not just stand in front of it the whole time. Besides giving it a wash. By the way, all this dirt is from Phoenix, Arizona. it still hasn't been cleaned off. That's how, I don't like using this word, but it's accurate. That's how long I've kind of neglected this car. So it really needs to be gone through. But the things that are gonna be done to this thing, it's gonna get a new cam, it's gonna get a tune, we're gonna rework the heads. We're also probably gonna put coilover suspension on it. When you have a bunch of German and exotic cars, you get used to these obscenely high price tags for car parts, like, you know, oh, you have a blown suspension piece, $1,000, okay, whatever. And I know in the land of like, it's such a different world from like Chevys. I miss this because you can get a whole set of coilovers for this car for $900. I'm like, like my German cars, I love them to death, but at all times they need $10,000 worth of work, and that's when they're perfect. So anyway, getting back to what I was talking about, the cam, the tune, the heads. We're also going to be changing, finally, these Mustang wheels, as many people have called them. I can't tell you how many people have given me shit for rocking these American Torque Thrust 2 wheels. Yeah, everyone calls these Mustang wheels. I mean, I understand why, but they look good on Chevys too. I mean, look at the 57. It's got the same damn wheels. Those are much cleaner though. If we can find a set, I would love to put the Fiske wheels that Josh has on his car, those nice big 5-spoke wheels, or if someone has a set of CCWs they want to sell me for not $20,000. I'll buy those. But one of the reasons we're gonna do that too, and this is another reason I haven't driven it a lot, there's been a very big problem with the front left suspension here. And when I show you this, you're gonna go, why were you driving it? Well, I needed to get it here. But if you look here, Blake, I don't know if that camera can catch this, but you see the wheel right here? Mm-hmm. You see all those scrapes that are here? Yeah, that's from the, I assume, the caliper scraping up against this. The entire caliper shifts back and forth. Like as you're driving, you can hear it rubbing. It's not good. I assume it's probably one of the control arms because I had a control arm on this side replaced. Let's see, what else is wrong with this car? Oh, how could I forget? Blake, you see this rat's nest of wires right here? Like this right here that's just zip tied and plugged and stuff. So this car at one point had an MSD 2-step box. I think it's, come to think of it, it's still mounted in this damn pile of junk. Come over here, Blake, you can see it. It's still in here. This is a MSD box. It's a 2-step box that if you had like an LT1 or an LT4 car from the 90s, if you wanted 2-step, this is the box you would buy from MSD. And this MSD box, for one reason or another, couldn't tell you if it was the box was bad or what, but it fried my OptiSpark. And for those who don't know what OptiSpark is, that's the really strange distributor that GM came up with for this car. It fried a 1-year-old OptiSpark. So that was a very fun repair on it, I gotta tell you. But it fried that, but when it was disconnected and redone, they didn't bother to take the box out, they just fucking left it here. All the wiring is still intact, it was just disconnected. Somewhere in here, I have no idea where, but there is a really poorly jerry-rigged line lock system on this car. It works, but I don't want to try it. The other thing I can see on this side, if you look, these headers that are on this car, these are American racing headers. This is how you make a C4 Corvette have that high-pitched shriek. It's equal length American racing headers. There's only one company that makes equal length headers for a C4 Corvette, it's American Racing. And they are prohibitively expensive. I remember when I bought them, I was so annoyed. I mean, any other set of headers for this car was $500, $700. American Racing, $1,500, and that's without cats. So I was like I called them, I was like, can I make a video with you guys, like get some kind of discount, like something? And they're just like, no, we will sell them to you for $1,500 and only $1,500. And I went, fuck you, here's my credit card. Like, I was so happy once they were installed. The final thing I'll show you that needs to be mechanically remedied on this car, that at least I know of, is the AC compressor in this car is gonzo. This AC compressor, the system leaks, and at about 2,200 RPM, even in neutral, if the AC compressor is running, it shakes the motor so hard that it looks like it's trying to do the merengue. Like, it's not good. It's really bad. Oh, and it probably needs a clutch and an oil change, and it needs someone to really go through the motor, and it probably could use windshield wipers. Like, you see how this is going? Like, what's gonna end up happening is Josh and I, like, we're like, we wanna keep the build within like 5 to 10 grand, right? Because all I want out of this car in all reality is just a reliable, good burnout machine. That's what I want. Like, when I want to drive a piece of nostalgia, this thing, I can take it off the tender and just rip it. But what's gonna end up happening is I'm gonna spend I said 5 to 10 grand. Like that's gonna end up being 20 or something stupid. But either way, make sure you like the video, subscribe, all of that, because that's how this is gonna get paid for. But in all seriousness, man, I mean, I'm just really excited to get this car back on the road because it's been a long time coming. I know you guys have been waiting for it, and I'm very excited to bring it to you. So we're gonna be sending this thing down to Florida. I'll update you guys accordingly. Once we have the build sheet for the car, I'll share it here with you. So with all that being said, thank you guys for watching. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming up here, and frankly, I'm really excited. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Blake, would you like to do the honors?
I do like pressing buttons.
Okay.
It's on.
Mm-hmm.
And now we turn.
You want to talk about a relic? Montgomery College student, expires 8/30/2017. Yeah.